Hey guys, Krootman here. Two things I pride myself on is doing my own research and having full disclosure. UpHere reached out to me asking if I would review one of their coolers, and full disclosure, they're looking to develop a working relationship. And I had never heard of them before, but after asking around and doing my research, I found out that they are an established cooling brand that seem to have pretty solid value, and their products don't look bad. And I've heard user testimonials that basically kind of confirm what I thought. So I had them send me a cooler, and they sent me the UP2kC6 cooler, as you can see right here. And I must admit, I had pretty low expectations, and the results surprised me. So this is not the first cooler I've reviewed, but this is the first cooler that I've reviewed in a non-mining suite, and I tested it on my 1440p test bench using a mid-range in terms of power consumption and performance 5800X3D, basically a CPU that if this cooler can handle it fine, it won't have any issues with any mid-range CPUs up to say a 5900X or 7900X to say the 12700K on the Intel side. Now I won't be recommending any 13th or 14th gen Intels for obvious reasons, and if you were trying to cool a top-end AMD CPU like the 5950X or the 7950X, you might want to consider looking at a higher end air cooler, in my opinion. That said, this 2-fan cooler is exactly what this CPU needs, and we will see if it is up to the task. First, let's start with the unboxing, and we'll go from there. Okay, so let's unbox it. Here you can see the box. Now, I opened it just to make sure the parts were in here, but this is the first time I'm really playing with it. You can see what they claim on the side of the box. Box feels good, doesn't look like a low brand company. I've never heard of them before, but it was interesting to see that it's took pride in their packaging. You get all the brackets. It comes with thermal paste, which is cool. Now let's see the kit and caboodle. Now this was interesting. Look at the screwdriver. It's right in there. It's kind of weird to get to. Let's pull it out first. Just kind of slides out, not too bad. So here it is. It feels fine. Doesn't feel cheap. I will say that. I don't know why that was like that, but it doesn't feel cheap. It's got the pad underneath. I mean, it's a Chinese company, obviously, you can see right there, but it doesn't feel cheap. We take the wires out. It has a little bit of a RGB with their logo. It has 2 fans. Let's open this up. Easy to pull apart, which is good. Now I've never opened this before, so I'm winging this here. Does this come off? I don't. Okay, so the other fan is right here. You can see it. So if you look over here, you see there's. I don't know if this is supposed to be like this. Seems a little cheap over here. Weird. So okay, well I mean that's fine as long as it works. It doesn't matter. And you obviously, if you're going to install this, you want both fans. But it is cool that you don't have to uninstall, or you don't have to take it apart. It tells you got to pull this off, right? Comes with the screwdriver. These big screwdrivers are always nice. All right, there you go. Thought so. You screw it in like that. All right, well, that's really all we need to take a look at as far as the looks go. You can kind of see through there. It looks fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. Let's take this off. Does it look flat? I'm going to try to see if I can get it on the camera. I don't see any ridges or any issues, so it should be able to make full CPU contact. We're going to test that. So that's it for the unboxing. Besides the design, you know, it looks like the spray can't stop spraying over here. Let's see how it cools. So the next part of the test I did was I installed this cooler on my test bench, and I wanted to see how the contact plate on the cooler connects with the CPU. So I installed it the normal way, put the thermal paste on, and now I'm going to take it off, and I want to see how evenly the thermal paste was applied. I don't have any advanced tools like Gamers Nexus does, so this is the best way I can think of to take a look at connectivity. And you can see here that the paste is pretty well covered on the CPU and on the cooler. That's a win for me. We're going to go ahead and get this thing installed, and we're going to start the test. You can see the cooler on the test bench paired with a MSI 3070, and now I'll be running the test. First I'm going to do Cinebench, then I'll do 3D Mark, and then I'm going to show you how it performs in some games. Alright, so here are the Cinebench results, and now I don't claim to be an expert in Cinebench at all. The only reason I'm testing this is because I know it stresses out the CPU and puts quite a bit of load on the CPU. So this is about like a minute or two into the test, and you can see the temperatures that we have. As far as I can see, nothing seems off. I know the CPU is being pushed quite a bit, and the cooler seems to be handling it, and it's well within operating temperatures of the CPU. And we can see what it looks like about another 5 minutes into the test. I was actually surprised how long the test took. And then one other thing I want to show you is I want to show you how loud it was. Now this was the average during the entire test. I took my phone and I held it up right next to the cooler, and we can see we're at about 55 decibels, which is fine. And frankly, if you have it in a case, you wouldn't hear it. I didn't actually even hear it sitting at my desk, which is probably about 4 feet away from my test bench. But like I said, if you put it in a case, you won't hear it at all. And this is using the stock fan curve. So now let's move on to something I am more familiar with, which is 3D Mark. Alright, so with 3D Mark, I ran the CPU benchmark, and the only thing that really matters is you can see the average temperature. We were at 75°C at 100% CPU usage, which is pretty good. Again, I see no complaints. I would like it to be in between the 70 and the 76 range, give or take, so we are within temperatures that I would find acceptable. But again, I do want you to keep in mind that this was tested on an open air bench and not in a case. I don't think that honestly matters if you have proper ventilation, but it is something that I did want to share. If anything, I feel like it would be a little cooler in an open air bench because some people have their fan curves set up wrong and the directions of their fans, and that causes your case to become hotter. So now let's move on to some games. Alright, so I played a few games of Call of Duty with the RTX 3070 and the 5800X 3D in 1440p. You can see the average temperature in the game. Actually, temperatures didn't go above 62 to 63°C, which was pretty impressive, but I know a game like Call of Duty doesn't go heavy on the CPU, especially in 1440p. So let's move on to Helldivers, which is a little bit more CPU demanding, and see what we get. So the temperature goes up a little bit in Helldivers. We're averaged about 64°C. I just took an in-game screenshot, same as I did with Call of Duty, and we hit CPU usage of about 32%. So nothing out of the ordinary. Basically with the games, I just wanted to make sure we didn't hit anything in the 70s. Mid-60s is where I kind of wanted to sit, and we hit it on both games I tried. I spent about 45 minutes playing Call of Duty, and I spent about 30 minutes playing Helldivers, and everything stayed the same, and I didn't notice any fluctuations or any temperature spikes. Alright, so this double heatsink, double fan cooler gave us pretty good performance, and the quality is, while it doesn't feel premium, it certainly doesn't feel terrible. It feels, above average, I would say. Does the price justify taking a chance on a relatively unknown brand over the more established brands like Noctua, Be Quiet, Thermaltake, and Arctic? I would say the answer is yes. When you consider for $50 you get 2 heatsinks and 2 fans, as you can see right here. When you compare it to any close competitors, you have the Noctua NH-U12 at $75. You have the Be Quiet Dark Rock 5 at $70. And then you've got the Thermaltake Tough Gar 510 at $65. And the closest thing you're going to get from Arctic is the Freezer 34 at $45, but keep in mind it only has 1 heatsink and not 2. I would say that you're getting very, very good value from this brand. Now, like I said, you don't have the premium look or the premium feel that you're going to get from a Noctua and a Be Quiet, but you are getting cost savings. You're saving between $25 to $35, which is nothing to sneeze at. And I think if you're willing to try an unknown brand and you don't quite care about how your cooler looks, as in you don't get that premium Noctua or Be Quiet look, I think the UP2kC6 is great value, and I think you guys would do well to try it out. In my opinion, this is a Kroot buy, as you get a pretty good value packed in to solid performance. Now, the only thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is the looks, but the build quality is solid enough, and honestly, I think that the value saved makes it worth it. So thanks again for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. I'll have affiliate links down below for the upHere store. Give them a look, and anything you buy will help the channel. So thanks again for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and it's nice to know that we have another solid cooler option added to our arsenal. Competition is good. The more companies that make good products, the better value we as consumers get. Thank you again for watching. Krootman is out.